The following is a presentation of TFNN. Trade what you see with Larry Pesavento. Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648 or internationally at 727-445-1044. Now, Larry Pesavento.
Okay, looking good, Billy Ray. Feeling good, Lewis. We're going to have John Person as our guest at 9:30. He's going to be talking to us about the volatility index and also about one of the ETFs for Bitcoin. He seems to know quite a bit about it, so that'll be fun to have him on. But today, of course, is the anniversary of December 7th, 1941, when we were hit at Pearl Harbor. If you ever get a chance to go to Pearl Harbor, folks, it's really a spectacular place to see. It is basically a cemetery under the water, and it is really spectacular. You can still see the bubbles coming up from the USS Arizona. I mean, it's just really, you just can't help but get goosebumps when you walk out there, to see that thing. Anyway, let's move on here. I posted the chart for the DAX. As you can see, it's been under a tad of pressure, just in a basic little trading range here with a little bit of a downward bias. But the key today is December 7th also happens to be Larry Bird's birthday, the big basketball player from Indiana who played for the Boston Celtics. And I have to tell you my favorite Larry Bird story. It's 1978. It's the fall of 78, and Indiana State University is undefeated. And Mr. Bird's picture is on the cover of Sports Illustrated. And, they called the Great White Hope or whatever it was. And my two best buddies from high school days, they called me up and said, he's better than Oscar Robertson. And I said, boys, you better get your act together because we played against Oscar when we were kids. And I said, there's no chance because Oscar to us was the epitome of basketball. And Indiana State was playing Bradley University, and they were being on TV. And this is the first time Indiana State Hoosiers, Sycamores, had ever had a national televised basketball game. So here it was. And so they were telling me that Bird had been averaging 33 points a game for all his college career, and they said he's going to get 50 points, and they're going to beat Bradley. And Bradley was a very good team. They were ranked also, but Indiana State was ranked number 1. And, we got a call already about John in Philadelphia. John, what can I do for you, my friend?
Good morning, sir. Before I ask the question, please finish that Larry Bird story. We'd all love to hear, especially me.
Okay. Well, anyway, they start the game, and at the end of the first half, Larry Bird has 6 points, and he looks terrible. And I call him up at home, and I'm in California in Westlake and Village, and I call back to Terre Haute, and I'm laughing and joking with him. And I said, man, you guys, you guys don't know anything about basketball. What happened to you in your old age? And they said, look, he said, what we'll do is if Bird scores 50 points and Indiana State makes it to the Final Four, you have to take us to the Final Four. And I'm saying, the chances of that is like 0. Second half starts, and Bird starts out and makes, I think, the first 21 points of the second half with about 3 minutes to go. He's got 28 points with, I forget how many minutes were left to go. He ended up with 53 for the day, and I became a Larry Bird fan at that time, and we went to Salt Lake City that fall or that March, and see him lose to Indiana State in that big, the most famous game. But at that time, we had a whole bunch of people from Terre Haute there, visiting. My sister had come out also, my brother-in-law, a couple of cousins, and we were having a cocktail party before, and they were taking collection for Larry Bird's mother, who had to have some really extensive dental work. And of course, we gave quite a bit of money to for the dental work and stuff. stuff, but I actually got to meet the young man. And then his birthday is, of course, today, but he celebrates his birthday. Used to back in the old days, he'd go to Terre Haute on the 4th of July, and they had a big fish fry out at Max Gibson's lake. So that's how I got to know that stuff. But anyway, that's how it all started, and I still became a Larry Bird fan. I never missed a Celtics game from 1980 through 1992 when he retired. So it was really a lot of fun. Anyway, let's get on to your question, John. Let's get back to work. YMZ, what were you asking?
Yeah, first before I ask, and I'll hold through the break if that comes up.
Absolutely.
I just have to share this. How coincidental you should mention that topic just now. I had the good fortune of living in Boston the spring and summer of 1984. I also had the better fortune of having a very good pal who had lived there for 5 years, was gainfully employed, and took me to a couple of Celtics games during that spring into the championship, of course, which the Celtics won. And I will tell you, I can't get out of my mind being in the Boston Garden and seeing Larry Bird on a couple of occasions shoot or throw a shot to win the game at the buzzer from deep coffin corner. No board, no rim, all net. That guy was just spectacular, no doubt about it.
Yeah, he was a lot of fun to watch, that's for sure. He's a pretty nice guy. He's very generous, but if he gets more than 6 beers in him, you got to stay away because he gets a little rusty.
Terrific. Yes, sir. On the Dow Jones and its and its futures contract, the YMZ7 contract, wanted to ask if you would pull up either your daily or your 4-hour charts and tell us, were there any precise fib expansion marks that were hit that nailed the turning point high on Monday? The reason I ask, I just cannot help but think that the rally that's been going on since August 21, which was the solar eclipse bottom, that rally that just did a moonshot 4-day surge, and that would have been Tuesday, November 28th, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, then into Monday's high. Boy, if and I'd like to ask you to comment, am I silly, or does that just have the earmarks of a capitulation, get me in at any price topping formation?
Well, John, I posted the chart for the NYSE, which is the best of the indexes to looks. And if you'll see here, on Monday, we made a slightly higher high, which was that Mercury retrograde full moon thing that Norm Winsky had been alerting to us on Friday. And then from that time, of course, we've been down for 3 days. We're, basically unchanged right now. But there was a reason for it because we did have a perfect 1.618 expansion on that NYSE index. And if you like Fibonacci numbers, that's basically your line in the sand if you want to pick one. So that's the thing that I would certainly be watching if you're watching that type of thing, and I am particularly watching that thing, so it's a very important number, and we shouldn't get above that high. Stay with us for the break, okay, John?
Thank you.
You bet.
The TAS Profile Scanner Plus, developed by John Logan and his team, is a standalone piece of software that can change the way you trade. Let the TAS Profile Scanner work for you by scanning over 5,000 financial instruments such as stocks, ETFs, commodities, futures, and Forex. Right now, you can get a 30-day free trial to the TAS Profile Scanner Plus right at TFNN.com. And when you sign up, you gain instant access to John Logan's Logan's most recent webinar, How Price, Volume, and Time Make Market Profiles So Unique. This hour-long webinar with John Logan will walk you through the most powerful features of the scanner and how you can use it to become a more successful and profitable trader. You pay absolutely nothing for 30 days while you try out this software risk-free. For more information on the TAS Profile Scanner and to get your 30-day free trial today, visit the front page of TFNN.com.
Many of our new listeners have heard about The Tiger's Den. The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of the TFNN shows, plus see all of the charts as they happen live and have access to archives of all of those charts. You can test drive The Tiger's Den absolutely free for 30 days and greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets and how to make your money work for you. Details on The Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com.
The Path of Least Resistance is David White's daily trading newsletter, and if you're looking for active trading ideas, then now's a perfect time for a 30-day free trial to this powerful daily trading advisory service. David uses his years of trading experience to offer his subscribers his trading ideas each morning in his Path of Least Resistance newsletter. Using a combination of equity trades along with options, David keeps his subscribers up to date with all pertinent market information with intraday afternoon updates when warranted. Don't miss out on this great chance to get a 30-day free trial to David's daily newsletter, The Path of Least Resistance, with no obligation to pay anything. David has been delivering solid recommendations for his subscribers recently, and if you'd like to see the type of newsletter he delivers every morning, then visit the front page of TFNN and you'll find the Path of Least Resistance under Trading Newsletters. For all the details and to start your 30-day free trial today, log on to TFNN.com now.
Tiger TV is an exciting way to experience TFNN programming. See high-definition video, giving you crystal clear charts, as well as seeing some of the faces of TFNN's highly acclaimed financial experts with crisp, full-fidelity sound. Catch Tom O'Brien, John Logan, Steve Rhodes, Basil Chapman, Larry Pesavento, Think or Swim, David White, Andy Hecht, and Daryl Martin in crystal clear, high-definition audio and video. Tiger TV, exclusively at TFNN.com. Larry takes your phone calls now. Toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044.
Okay, we're back, folks, and we're talking with Mr. Z from Philadelphia about the stock market. John, there's a couple of other things that might figure in if this is going to be high, besides the astrology things that we talked about that Norm Winsky brought to our attention. But the 1.618 expansion on that NASDAQ, I think, is the most important. But also, we made a divergence. The NASDAQ, which had been the leader of the pack, had a very strong divergence. And on that Monday, when we had the big rally starting out, we only made a 78% retracement in the NASDAQ, and that is also sort of a negative divergence. But like I mentioned before, we live in interesting times, so you have to be careful. I think this week will be interesting because we're coming into Friday, and we'll have if we have a down week, this will be a down week after a higher high. That's a reversal. That is a reversal type week, and whether that'll mean anything to anybody or not, I'm not really sure. But that's what I'm looking at. By the way, John, Norm Winsky will be on tomorrow with a special report on the astro things that are happening. There's something really big on the horizon that he wanted to share with us. So try not to miss that show tomorrow at 9:30.
Thank you very much on that. In particular, that New York Stock Exchange Composite weekly chart with the precise price target of the Fib 1618 expansion. Would you please just talk, for my benefit, and maybe your audience would benefit as well? You've been trading markets and volatile markets for all those decades, and you've seen lots of capitulation, bear market bottoms, bull market tops. And I just have to observe, let's face facts. A raging bull market in U.S. stocks is ongoing, has been for years. Since that solar eclipse bottom August 21st, The U.S. indices and, the Dow have been rising 15 weeks now.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's clear to all of us, what the trend is. But there was the Mercury retrograde, full moon, and perigee all on Sunday, Monday, December 3rd and 4th. And then to see how the Dow Jones Index itself behaved starting Tuesday, November 28th, just last week.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there was just a rush. And, there's news, yes.
Mm-hmm.
The talk last Tuesday was, yes, the tax reform bill will get passed. But, we all saw that coming. Everybody who's got $1 billion says it was coming, so it was no surprise. But to see that just panic to get in and go right into Monday, that AstroTurn date, share with us, if you could, what your read is of the sentiment and how that fits, please. I'd just love to listen based upon all your decades of experience.
Well, one of the things that I watch, and we talk about it here at TFNN, is I watch the open interest of the futures. Remember, John, the futures are just a really small part of the markets. I mean, the euro trades thousands of times more than these futures every day, but, there's a lot of people trading the futures, so I watch the open interest. And in the NASDAQ, with the NASDAQ running up, and it wasn't going nearly as high as the Dow, there was a slight drop in open interest, but the real key was in the E-mini S&P 500. We had tremendous increases in open interest in one day, like 2%, 1.5%, 2%, all during that run up. Now, the Dow Jones, it's the least of all the four indices between the Russell, the NASDAQ, the S&P, and the Dow. It also had really strong increases in open interest. So what that means is people are giving me the old let me in syndrome. Wow, I've missed this thing, I've got to get in now. Maybe this is what we're going to be seeing in Bitcoin, but possibly when we start trading here very, very soon. By the way, John, I posted a real interesting article about Bitcoin from John Finney, who's one of the attorneys, used to be at the Merck, but we happen to know him very well. As a matter of fact, my good friend Byron used to date John's cousin, and so we know him quite well. He's very smart, but that's a really good article if you want to read about how it's going to work in the thing. And you got to follow it because there's a lot of people interesting. But let's getting back to the market. That's the only thing that I'm looking at. And as you recall, every time we see these things, like we saw gold at 1932, silver at 49 cents, those were the types of moves, these parabolic moves that go straight up the flagpole, and they slide down the flagpole the same way. So all I'm saying is that just be careful in here, because if this thing does turn down sometime in the next 2 centuries, it's going to be pretty nasty, would be my guess, because it's been a one-way street, and Isaac Newton's second law, what goes up must come down, should come into effect. But that's what I'm looking at. The key number to watch, I think, in the S&P is if we close below 2,600 in the S&P, that's 27 handles from where we are right now. But if we get below that, then you're looking at something that could be really, really significant.
Thanks so much for all that explanation. Do appreciate it, and we'll see if we get a nice little sell-off on December 31st.
Well, it's going to be interesting for sure. As the old Chinese curse says, may you live in interesting times. Thanks for calling in, Mr. Z. We always like hearing from you. Oh, by the way, Z, keep an eye on those bonds. It looks like we're ratcheting up little by little, and if we could get them up to that 156 level, I think that would be the Christmas present that the bond shorts would love to see. But it's still quite a ways from there, but it's on its way, it appears.
Just to add to that, I've been posting this idea in the den, but let me share it out loud. Since October 15th, 20th, when it became very clear the marginal corporate tax rate would be lowered, there has been a big push, at least reported by some of the big broker-dealers, Goldman, Morgan, what have you, that a good number of corporations have been stuffing cash into the bond markets via their pension funds. In other words, taking lots of pension expense this year and pulling it forward from 2018 so that come 2018, their expenses will be lower, their taxable income higher, and their tax rate, of course, being lower next year, and buying lots of 30-year bonds as they put that pension contribution, to work. So if that is, in fact, a large factor, which I'm hearing it is, and, of course, I can't personally verify that, but that's what I'm hearing, that source of demand will turn or reduce come December 31st, which could set up nicely with what you're looking for with that bond futures contract.
Well, it certainly could. The problem, John, is all I can remember about accounting when I was doing my graduate work is debit is on the side next to the window. So I don't know much about that. So thanks a lot for calling in, Mr. Z, and a happy holidays to you, my friend.
You as well. Thank you.
Okay, bye-bye.
Larry Pesavento has just started his brand new service, Fibonacci 24/7, and he's already delivering content to his subscribers on a daily basis when the market's opened and even on weekends. Each Monday, you'll receive Larry's written report that provides detailed commentary and a summary on the charts and videos that Larry sends out. And throughout the week, when warranted, Larry will send out via charts or videos or both the key markets that he is watching during the day. This will be up-to-the-date, active trading information that will help you in your daily trading. In Larry's first week alone, he sent out 25 charts, 6 videos, and a full report to his subscribers in just 1 week. If you're a technical trader that uses patterns and retracements to trade, then Larry's service Fibonacci 24/7 is something that you must try. Right now, new subscribers can get a full 30-day money-back guarantee. With nothing to risk, sign up now to Larry Pesavento's Fibonacci 24/7 by visiting the front page of TFNN.com under Trading Newsletters. In quiet markets, investors search for new trading opportunities. We'd like to introduce you to a new product that provides opportunities even in flat markets. Nadex, the North American Derivatives Exchange, is a new and innovative Chicago-based exchange registered with the Commodity Futures Trading Commission, and unlike most other exchanges, Nadex allows you to trade directly through them with direct market access when using their trading platform. Nadex never charges a fee to use their platform, which even includes real-time charts and full customization capability. Nadex's unique short-term binary options allow traders and investors to capitalize on strategies even when the underlying markets are quiet. Nadex's innovation has allowed them to come up with a line of unique trading products that are unavailable anywhere else. See how it works at nadex.com. That's nadex.com, or click on the Nadex banner on the front page of TFNN.com. Futures and options trading involves risk and may not be appropriate for all investors.
Platinum, grains, crude oil, gold, copper, cattle, hogs, gasoline, natural gas, coffee, cotton, cocoa, and sugar. These are just some of the commodities mentioned in the most recent issue of Andy Hecht's Techno-Mental Commodity Report. Andy publishes his weekly newsletter every Thursday morning, where he breaks down the commodity market and provides his subscribers with specific trading recommendations based on his trading methodology. By signing up for a free trial to the Techno-Mental Commodity Report, you'll get a full 30 days to try out this powerful newsletter service and see for yourself the types of trades Andy has recommended for his subscribers. When you sign up for a 30-day free trial, you're under no obligation to pay anything. And should you decide to continue, you will lock in the low rate of only $79 a month. Sign up right now for the Techno-Mental Commodity Report and make sure you're ready to catch the next big trade in commodities. For more information and to get started today, visit the front page of TFNN.com. This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
Okay, we're back, folks, and we've got an old friend on the line, John Person from Florida. John, how are you?
I'm doing just great. Thanks a lot. How's everybody today?
Everybody's good. Listen, we really appreciate you joining us today. I've known John for, well, he was just a kid when I first met him. And anyway, John, you're going to talk to us a little bit. I posted your first chart that you brought in today, which shows an equity curve. You want to talk a little bit about that? And then we'd like to talk to you about the that Bitcoin strategy that you're using. Could we start with that first chart?
Sure. Well, the first chart, actually, that strategy that you see with that performance chart that looks like left to right straight up, but it's not. It's a nice parabolic curved performance, is on the volatility index, the VX, not volatility index, but the volatility ETN, exchange traded notes. Here's the funny thing about that, and this might be too much to go over in detail with over a radio A and B in a half hour or 10 minutes or whatever time we got, but what that is the performance of just taking short signals on the volatility index, the VXX. It's been one of our favorite trades, and it's a trading system that we've introduced for over the last year and a half, and something that I've talked about at the different financial conferences. Basically, it takes advantage of it's a volatility exchange traded note that's valued off of the futures of the VIX, which the futures of the VIX has what's called a contango, meaning further out in time you go, the more valuable the product is. When the time comes in without any major crush of price structure, that contango narrows. And so what people probably don't understand is that this is a strategy that you look to actually, every time there's a small scare in the market and you see the volatility pop, this is the product that you look to sell short. That strategy that you look at goes over since the beginning of January of 2010 of just taking short sell signals. And that's a heck of a strategy. In other words, this is a product that if every investor understood the nature of what markets are designed for, such as what's the best way to trade commodities, the best way to trade a stock, this volatility product, it's designed to fail. It's designed to go down every single month. There is no market crash. So that's the performance there, which is the VXX, and I'm sure your listeners will like to take advantage of learning more about that and taking advantage of a structure called contango, which occurs almost every single month with that product.
Wow. John, if the folks would like to get more information on this, how can they reach you?
Well, they can go to our website at personsplanet.com.
Personsplanet.com, okay.
And just take a mosey-on look around there. On the upper end of the graph is another product that has become extremely popular, as you know, as everyone's been hearing in the media, is Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. But this is a small ETF which started off, I guess, a year and a half ago, but we've been looking and following at it since April. And on that Bitcoin, I mean, it started off with the average volume of about maybe 5,000-6,000, and it's been looking at volume with 15,000. So the symbol is GBTC. Now, that's also, if you look at the chart, I just added two charts with trading systems of signals of entries and exits, and you can see the structure of Bitcoin. Right now, that particular system is flat, even though Bitcoin's up again, and the GBTC is now trading at 1,900. The volume on relative basis over the last 10 days, it's average on that ETN, 82,000 shares. Today, this morning, right now, it's at 190. So I'm not saying we're bubblicious and getting into a bubble on Bitcoin, but I am saying on that particular chart, I would be looking for, as you see, every time it rallies up in the last week, it's had sharp declines off the highs. So it's been opening higher and trading lower on the close. And I know you're an expert in pattern recognition, Larry. If anyone's a top-ranked technician, you're the guy. So higher opens, lower closes, starts to signal distribution.
Yeah, I don't do well with the flagpole formations, John. That's not one of my better patterns. But you know, Bitcoin hit 15,000 today, which is relatively Just a few years ago, I think 2 years ago, you could bought it for $400, and it's jumped $3,000. I think this week, hasn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm looking
Wow.
at the Bitcoin. Now, I'm not trading Bitcoin as Bitcoin. I've been trading the Bitcoin ETF, which is the GBTC, and that's the chart that I sent you. So when I said the ETN, the Bitcoin ETN of the investment trust, it just traded 1,900 right now. So it's up
Okay.
13% today alone. That's
Okay.
what I'm referencing is the product in that chart. There.
John, what is your feeling? I know you have a lot of still, because you lived in Chicago at the same time I did, but do you have any contacts there that talk to you about what they're expecting in the futures when they come out next week?
Well, I think the first and foremost is how do you, it's more like an index, right? Because it's not, is it going to be a deliverable product, number one? Number two, I think a lot of people, and yes, I've talked to a few people that are all concerned about the risk, and like any new product, like back in 84, I can't even remember, or was it 1982? I always get the years mixed. When they introduced
April of 82.
April of 82, when they introduced that small little product called the S&P 500, where they gave out the little buttons that said, just 15 minutes, please. They couldn't even get locals to
I was there. They had to pull me into the pit to take my picture, so I remember.
So, when you tell that story, and you can always tell the new traders, because we always call it the old traders, the old guys, the old dogs, like USB, we call it the spoons. The new kids and everyone else, they call it the ES, So, as you know, the first contract listed was they were trading the SPU, you being the Symbiology for September. Anyway, the whole point is what they're talking about, this Bitcoin futures concept, is the leverage and the velocity of this thing. I mean, if you have a market that moves like it did in terms of thousands, pricing this out is going to be insane. So I think people are going to want to see who the market makers are. How's the liquidity? Is it a Roach Motel product? Just because it's listed on a futures exchange does not mean it's going to launch successfully. So it's not something that I personally will be trading on the very first day just to trade it. So I think that's the talk of town.
Well, that's great. John, listen, I want to thank you for joining us today, buddy, and we'll have you on again. Please give my regards to Mary. By the way, are you feeling okay since you got run over by a car?
Well, when you don't see it coming and people run over you backwards as a pedestrian, bad things happen, but we're all fine. Thanks for asking, Larry.
That's good. Listen, buddy, we love you. Take it easy, and a happy holidays to you and your family.
Merry Christmas and happy holidays to you as well, Larry. We love you. Thank you, man.
You bet. Okay, that was John Person Planets of Florida. I've known him a long time. He's a really smart dude. Anyway, let's move on to some of these markets. We've got to take a little tiny break here to pay a few bills. We'll be right back, 877-927-6648. Stay tuned for Gold and Silver.
Today, it's hard to tell if the economy is coming or going. Regardless, I want my money going in the direction I choose. If that's your stance as well, then you want to know how Everbank can help keep your money thriving just the way you want. Is growing your money a priority? Everbank is committed to a yield pledge promise to pay high yields on your checking, money market, and CD balances. Looking to diversify? Everbank ingeniously developed accessible ways to spread your money around the world into foreign currencies and even non-FDIC insured metals. And when it comes to your wealth, they bring a highly experienced and global perspective to help you manage it. Everbank's financial philosophy flies in the face of the status quo. They believe your money's performance should not be determined by today's economic circumstances, but by the drive to rise above them and create opportunities that favor your objectives. If that excites you, like it does me, call 1-855-750-4051 to find out what they can do for you. That's 1-855-750-4051. Call them today. Everbank is a member FDIC and equal housing lender.
TFNN has put together the finest programming lineup each trading day, featuring some of the most knowledgeable and respected financial minds in the nation to educate traders and investors. On Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, we broadcast 8 hours a day, starting at 9 a.m. as Larry Pesavento kicks us off with Trade What You See. Tuesdays and Thursdays, we broadcast 11 hours. Get an early and healthy start to your day as Nico and Paige bring you Living a Primal Lifestyle. Then catch Andy Hecht at 5 p.m. with the Commodities Hour, following the Tom O'Brien Show. Swim lessons from TD Ameritrade Think or Swim is now at 11 a.m., followed by Basil Chapman at 12 noon. See the TFNN program lineup via the link on the front page of TFNN.com to get a complete overview of our TFNN shows and hosts. And keep TFNN's Tiger TV tuned in on your mobile device, PC, or Mac for the latest financial news and information throughout the broadcasting day. TFNN.com, educating investors.
Biotech is booming, but for how long? Whether you think the biotech bull has room to run or has run its course, trade LABU or LABD. Direction's daily S&P Biotech 3 times bull and bear ETFs. Visit directioninvestments.com/biotech today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction shares at 866-476-7523. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
The Bull Bear Binary Option Hour, brought to you by Nadex. Next on TFNN.
Okay, folks, I posted the chart of the XAU in the market here. As you can see, this little puppy has still been broken down badly. We've got a really strong seasonal coming in December. I posted that. We talked a lot about that yesterday. By the way, we're going to have Norm Winsky on for a special thing on astrology tomorrow, so try not to miss that show, folks. Norm doesn't ask to, hold on one second. My problem, just a second. Let me get the XAU up there, and you'll be able to see it here. But Norm is going to have a special show on. He asked to be on to discuss it, and believe me, we've had him on now for a couple of years, since May of 2015. He's never asked to come on in between his once every twice a month. So I think it's going to be worthy of what's going on. It's something that is very large that we haven't seen before, so it'll be pretty good to see what's going on. Anyway, looks like we're going to go a little bit lower here in this gold. The silver has already, we'll get the silver up here to take a look at it here. We've just, I posted this late yesterday afternoon. The number we're looking at in the silver was about 1582. We got down to a little bit below 1580. That completes that big Gartley. If this were the end of December, I'd buy this thing, que le conos dos manos, with both hands. But unfortunately, the timing is not the way I'd like to see it. And I certainly want to hear what Norm has to say tomorrow, because some of his astro dates have been flat out spot on. There's another one that's a little scary, boys and girls, and if you want to take a look at a chart that doesn't look very bullish in the precious metals, it is this platinum. And if you recall, we talked about that 786 retracement you can see back there at 928, that if we went below that, that was a very, very negative sign, and you can see we've dropped $45 an ounce in platinum, and we're actually taking out the lows for May and July. So this is not a very bullish chart. Now, silver and gold look a lot better, but the platinum is not looking pretty good. Maybe everybody's going to be moving to Teslas, and they won't be driving those kind of cars anymore. But we'll have to wait and see. Now, I wanted to go a little bit to the esoteric, and I want to bring a chart up by my good friend and trading buddy partner is Jim Bartolioni. This is a chart on crude oil, and this is a long-term chart going back a long ways. You can see the high we made there at 147. And in 2008, if you remember, the special report that Goldman Sachs came out that week saying that crude oil had a locked-on price of $200 an ounce. And guess who was selling up there? You're never going to guess, boys and girls. It was Goldman Sachs. So it's not what you see, it's not what you trade, it's not what you think, it's what you see. So make sure you trade what you see and not what you think. And that's why patterns are, helpful as we look at some of these things. So I think we're getting close in the gold and silver. We're probably not there yet, but we're getting very, very close. We really need to watch this in December because it has extremely strong seasonal pattern, and we really need to to keep an eye on that one. So let's just watch it, and we'll go a step at a time and see what's going on. Same thing with the gold. We could go slightly lower here. We're looking at our price of around that 12.40, and we came within $15, 12.40 to 12.20. And all I'm doing here, folks, is I'm waiting for it has such a strong seasonal for gold to go down from the December 1st to Christmas. It's just a strong seasonal that it's hard to fade. So you don't want to get into that to see what's happening. Now, I wanted to switch over a little bit and talk about commodities just for a second because I know we got some commodity people in here. I wanted to show you this chart of this is the January soybean oil. And as you can see, we're down here at this 33 level. We're actually trading at 32.90 this morning. So it's actually made a slightly lower low on that 786. And I referred to that as the last train from Boot Hill. Get below that, you're grasping at straws, so I wouldn't touch it. But I want you to see that we have this pattern here in the oil, and I want to show you the exact opposite pattern that we're seeing in the January soybean meal. I believe, excuse me, this is March meal. No, it is January meal. Let me get this up here, and you'll see with the exact opposite is what we have going on in the soybean meal is it's going up and soybean oil is going down. There's a spread that the professionals use. They either go long oil and short meal. Meal is 80% of the beans. The oil is 20%, and that little residual, whatever it is just stuff they use for feeding cattle. But this tells you that you want to be short meal and long oil. That's what that spread is basically telling you. Now, we're going to follow through with this over the next few days. And next week, we're going to get our good friend Cy Smonley from Sylvius Financial in Chicago as our guest, and he'll discuss more of that with you. And then we're also going to have Rich Anderson on next week to talk to us about some of these spreads. We've got wheat breaking down into new low ground also after that real strong rally that it had. And now it's breaking down. So we're seeing some of these commodities are certainly not showing the bullishness that we're seeing in some of the market, particularly the copper. And as you remember, the copper was really in pretty big movement there. Regarding the natural gas that Bob in Spokane is asking about, that doesn't look very good, Bob. We should have held 285. In the natural gas, we talked about that yesterday. So it has to hold right here because a failure to hold that 281 doesn't put much of a floor in the market because it could really break down. We come down from 313 so fast that that's not a good sign. So a lot of these commodities are under pressure. Even sugar is been under some pressure. So these are there's quite a few of them that are not looking nearly as good. Meal's been the only one, and beans were okay until yesterday, but it looks like that we have some problems in some of these. Hold on, please. Okay. Remember, tomorrow, Norm Winsky, folks, he's got something important. I don't know what it is, but I'll be listening with you tomorrow at 9:30. So try to listen on to what he has to say there, and we'll go on to that level and see what's happening here. So here's what we have moving on. We got stocks came back pretty good. The S&P's rallying pretty good. The Dow Jones futures, after hitting a 61% retracement down there at 2480, has now rallied 100 points up to 24,180 right now. So that's a pretty good move. And that's about basically what we're watching here on some of these things. And so we'll just keep an eye out of what's going on. We're trying to look at the euro about 20 pips lower. Whether we're going to get there or not remains to be seen. So we'll just watch it as we, walk through some of these and see, how they're coming in. Also, we need to watch that U.S. dollar because that still has got a beautiful ABCD pattern there. And as long as that U.S. dollar can stay above that 96.30 level, it's got a pretty good chance of moving higher. So that means lower euro. So right now we want to see that euro down about 117.70. The low today was 117.75. The $64 question is that the low? The answer to that is I don't know. But all I know is that it's very, very close. We'll know by the end of the day, because if we get above 118.10, that tells us that the euro missed that price by 3 pips, and we're going to be going higher. 877-927-6648.
Hi, I'm Steve Rhodes, host of the Trader's Edge, heard daily at TFNN.com and author of Mastering Probability, a daily investment and trading newsletter service that I send out each morning by 8 a.m. My morning newsletter service covers exactly what the markets have been doing since last night's close, providing you with an edge on your trading day ahead. You get actionable trading ideas, including the exact entry, stop, and profit targets. Plus, I'll teach you the patterns and hidden market correlations that will make you a better trader. As a subscriber, you'll gain access to my 90-minute money management workshop, where I'll teach you the secrets that'll save your assets. The bottom line, I've got your back, including a 30-day money-back guarantee. See for yourself the type of analysis I provide each trading day by signing up for Mastering Probability today. With nothing to lose, this is an offer you should not pass on. Mastering Probability can be found under Trading Newsletters on the front page of TFNN.com.
Tom O'Brien's weekly gold letter, The Gold Report, gives complete and concise coverage of the entire gold market. Inside, you'll get Tom's commentary on gold, the dollar, the rand, the bond, the XAU, the HUI, and detailed coverage of nearly 25 mining stocks. He'll give you the entry price, price target, and stop price of each stock trade. The Gold Report is a long-term newsletter where the focus is on building real wealth through the management of a successful portfolio of gold stocks. With a lifetime of knowledge and almost 12 years of writing his informative weekly newsletter, The Gold Report, Tom O'Brien can provide you with the important market information to help you make better trades in the gold market. Don't let the next bull run in gold pass you by. To get a month-long free trial to the Gold Report, an $85 value, visit the front page of TFNN.com today.
Basil Chapman will be hosting a full-day Master Trader class Friday, December 8th from 9 a.m. until 4:30 p.m. This live 7.5-hour online class will teach you the complete concepts of Basil's Chapman Wave trading methodology, along with a variety of indicators and charting patterns that Basil uses on a daily basis, including the concept of higher peaks and lower troughs, the importance of the Peak D, buy and sell modes, sustaining rallies and declines, MACD, stochastic, moving averages, on-balance volume, and much more. Everyone that attends will also receive Basil's CD book introducing the Chapman Wave methodology, a $249 value, along with 1 month of his daily trading newsletter, The Opening Call, a $128 value. Basil will be using live charts where and when possible in the webinar to show the concepts of his trading methodology, which works on all time frames. For all the details and to reserve your spot today, visit the front page of TFNN.com.
This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
Okay, folks, one other special that TFNN is having is Basil Chapman is having a one-day program. And if you haven't had a chance to really see technical analysis and working with that many hours with a professional, go to TFNN and sign up for that, because he covers Elliott wave in a way that's really understandable, as opposed to trying to figure out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's a little more difficult. But anyway, it's a great show to watch if you're interested in technical analysis. Let's move on here. I posted the charts for the Australian dollar on the daily chart. I've also posted the chart of the Australian dollar on the weekly chart. As you can see, we have now reached those price levels that we've been waiting for quite some time. These are the charts that we cover in the newsletter 24/7 every week, and we are down here at this level. This is where we are with the euro, the pound, all of these, the yen, all of them are right at these really critical levels here. So, and this is not unusual, because around the new year is when these currencies have some major turns. So we're looking at something, very, very significant, as we are also in gold. Boy, what scares me about that gold is the fact that platinum is so darn weak, but it's such a small market that really shouldn't affect too much. But we'll keep an eye on it. We have a lot of things moving, especially with the grains and the precious metals and stocks and everything else. So, like they say, live every day in an attitude of gratitude, and may God bless. And make sure you use stops, folks, because you're going to be wrong a lot, but you're going to be right sometimes, and those are the ones that you want. Focus on the amount of money that you have at risk, not the amount of money that you could possibly make. You have to think, like a winner, like Paul Tudor Jones says. Winners think, how much can I lose? And losers think, how much can I win? And that's how Las Vegas makes all of its money, with its big flashing signs and all the things that you can make. And of course, this is not a gambling business. This is intelligent risk speculation. That's what we do, because we can decide when we want to play, what we want to play, and how big we want to play. So live every day in an attitude of gratitude, and may God bless. See Norman Winsky tomorrow.
Hi folks, Tom O'Brien here. If you'd like to get my daily newsletter, Market Insights, then now is a great time to sign up for a 30-day free trial. Every morning by 9:30, I send out my morning letter to subscribers with market commentary on a variety of markets, currencies, and commodities to keep investors up to date on the day's trading action. Included in Market Insights are specific buy and sell recommendations for stocks, ETFs, and even options, with stops and price targets included for every trade in my newsletter. If you'd like to try my newsletter risk-free for 30 days, then head over to the front page of TFNN and you'll find Market Insights under Trading Newsletters. I use my years of trading experience to bisect and dissect the market every morning and give my subscribers the most important information they need to know for the day ahead. I even issue afternoon updates for my subscribers whenever warranted with important market action. I'm always scouring the market for the next great trading opportunity. Sign up for your 30-day free trial to my daily newsletter, Market Insights, today by visiting the front page of TFNN.com. Wow! Go get 'em, folks.